the pre-workout, pre-surfing hip openers. Kip, you're on.
Okay, the first one I like to do is sit down and just start with the lower back, because that also relaxes the gluteus maximus and helps a little bit with the hip flexors. So I take one foot and put it in front of the other. Make sure they're not touching, because I'm going to lean all the way forward. And then I just bend over and let gravity take over. And then on the exhale, I just say release, release, release. And then when I want even more weight behind my head, or I want to stretch further, I just put both hands here. And on the exhale, tell it to release, release, and release. Once you do one side, you always have to do the other, so I just go over to the other side. Same. Making room for my feet so they're not touching each other. So when I bend over, it won't hurt. Release, release, release. Minimum of 30 seconds each stretch. Then I like to go to cat and dog, because this just opens up the vertebrae and flexes them. Gets blood and oxygen to them. And this is dog here. And you can turn your elbows outward if you want and really get a stretch, and use your eyes and look all the way back here. Eye exercise as well. And arching your back as much as you can, neck all the way back. Keep that for about 20-30 seconds, and then I go right back. That was dog, and I go into cat. Cat, back arched up. Take my elbows and move them forward, forcing my back up through the atmosphere and tucking my buttocks in, also loosening up my lower back. Cat to dog, 30 seconds, and back a few times, into cat, and switch off. That's number 2. Excuse me. Number 3 is stretch your hips out as far as you can by taking both knees and spreading them as far as you can go. Then you sit back on your feet without crushing them. And just feel stretch in your hip and your glutes, and sit back all the way in your feet. Allow gravity to do its thing. And just release, let go. As you let go, you'll find the stretch will increase. Another 30 seconds, and then making sure your knees are far apart as it can be. You come all the way forward with the pads of your feet together, and let gravity just pull your feet down closer to the grass as you say release on each exhale. Release. And listening to your breath. Release. You listen to your breath, you become calm and relaxed. Release. And with just letting gravity pull those feet down closer to the grass, this will stretch out your hips. Really important to do this. I do this one a lot because my hips are getting stiffer as I get older. And then when you get far enough down and you've been down there for a few minutes, take your feet and spread them out, and then bring them back. Spread them out a little bit, 8 to 15 inches, and then back. And just play with it. And you can feel the stretch opening up. And you can keep your feet out this direction, and you stretch a different part of the hip flexor. Now, mind you, I have a titanium hip in my left side, so and I'm still pretty limber, and this is how I keep it. So, and then you'll find at the end of the stretch, trying to get your feet all the way down, really opening up those hips and releasing, straightening your legs while they're spread, bring them together, and then going into this yogic pose, where you can either make the stretch more or less by moving your foot out, more of a stretch, or less of a stretch. There's one way. Or you can take your right leg and move it over to the left. This stretches the gluteus maximus, which leads into the hip flexor, which is very important. You got to stretch both of them And then you can even wiggle gently. Not pushing to the pain threshold, but to the stretch threshold. Creating more stretch. Doing a little wiggle is okay. And then coming up, arching your back. Again, this is an eye exercise where you look back at the top of your head. Really good to work your eyes both up, down, and off to the side. We'll show you neck stretches in a second. And look back and stretch your head all the way back, and using your eyes for the eye exercise as well. Okay. Then, while my right leg's back, I turn to the left, and I try to force my hip to the sand. Or, we're not at the base, to the grass in this case. And pull it down. With each breath out, I get that hip closer to the grass. Release. 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 With the exhale, I always say release. You're communicating to your body. You're putting your attention on that spot. Then you're releasing. Mentally and physically. Release. 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 And you're doing both gluteus maximus and hip flexor. This is really good. And you can shake a little if you like. And if your wrists get tired, you just go to fist mode, and that'll help you out. Stretch. Nice. And then, of course, you always go to the opposite leg. Do both sides. Laying down. Resting. I'm going to move my leg over to the right to create more stretch. And breathing into it. Putting my attention on the stiff area. Telling it to release. And I'm already warm, so I'm going to do a little wiggle. I wouldn't recommend doing the wiggle until you're warmed up first. And then that way you can stretch, release, kindly. This isn't a power move, it's just towards the stretch threshold. Again, not to the pain threshold. Very important. Done about 3 to 5 minutes of that. Come up again. Arching the back, arching the neck, looking backward with your eyes. Exercising the eyes too. And then turning your head to the right. Try to get that left hip down to the grass. 1. Release. 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 You're getting in touch with your body. You're listening to your breath, and you're telling it to release on the exhale. Deep breaths, releasing oxygen. All the oxygen should be eliminated from your stomach and your chest. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Release. Listening to the wind blow out through your mouth. Listening to that wind is really important for it calms you down. And trying to get that left hip down to the grass. That's the goal. My wrists again get tired. I just go into fist mode. And release. And release. Good. Those are really good, and it's really important that, because you want to be holistic about it. Stretch all the muscles. You want to get to thighs because the thighs connect into the hip flexors. If your thighs are tight, nobody pays attention to their thighs anymore. If your thighs are tight, even if they aren't, you should probably be doing this exercise. And it's the same old football. We did it in swimming and water polo. One foot just right in front of your shoulder line. Reach around with your left hand and grab the top of your foot. Now, once you bring this forward, you can change the direction of your hand to the left or to the right. If you go to the right, you're going to really stretch the T-band, this band along the side of the muscle, which really needs stretching as you get older because it starts to dry up and lose flexibility. This is the T-band, so I'm going to pull my knee off and my foot off to the right here, and really get that T-band. Really. Okay, once you do that, you get a few minutes of that, definitely stretch. Again, just put the right leg a little bit far forward of your shoulders when you're leaning forward. Lift your foot back up, and even if you can grab a toe, that's good. Or help a friend. A friend can help you grab the top of your foot. And you don't have to lean forward. If you want more stretch, you lean forward, but if you don't, just stay back here. Increase the stretch, move forward. Again, I'm interested in getting that T-band, and also the other side. When you pull the foot off to the right like this, you're getting the hip flexor, top of the hip flexor. This is really good top of the line hip flexor stretch. And then again, we'll go out to the T-band and we'll move the foot to the left. Nice. So we're doing holistic, the whole muscle group for the hips. It's really important. Okay, we've done all the outside leg, we've done the muscles around, we've done the glutes, we've done a little bit of the lower back. Now, what about the inside part of the leg, right? So you just stretch out as far as you can go and come down. Just lean into it. And if you need more stretch, just move your feet out apart more. Lean into your elbows, relax into it. Got to get the groin. Yeah, this is a good groin stretch. And release. 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 Release.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Kip Stretch Special.
The one I want to show you is really important that people don't really do or teach, but it's a good neck stretcher.
Okay.
And the neck and the trapezoid, this is where we hold a lot of stress. So a good neck stretcher. We already did one on the first exercise where we're pulling our neck down, so we already did forward. That's beautiful. Here's another one where you bring in your knees. You're also working on your lower back. Bring them into your chest, and you roll over. Put your nose down on the ground and force your head to turn back the other direction. Nose down in there, squish the nose. Got my forehead on the grass, and I'm looking the other direction. Really good neck stretch. And then you roll over and do the other side. As you get older, you need to do these stretches to create flexibility so you don't seize up. And again, you just roll back over, go to the other side. Nose down, bring those knees in, and look back the other direction. That's it for today. Well, we'll have future surfing stretches for you that I want to show you that I learned from a yoga master in Bali. So stay tuned.